Ba-da-da-da-da. Hey. What's up, guys? Wow. For now, I'm gonna put this on the other side. Wowie. Oh wait, why is it fucking live chat, please? Pseudo live chat. The MPI effort involved 80 people from 40 organizations, mainly the United States and Europe. Most of the major vendors of concurrent computers were involved in the MPI effort, collaborating with researchers from universities, government, laboratories, and industry. Wowie. Support for MPI meetings came from part of DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and the United States National Science Foundation under Grant ASC 9310330. MPI is a communication protocol for programming parallel computers. Both point-to-point and collective communications are supported. MPI is a message passing application for a programming interface together with the protocol, semantic, and specifications for how its features must behave is in any implementation. MPI's goals are high performance scalability and portability. MPI remained the dominant model used as of 2006. His computer's bigger than mine? God damn! I thought I was already on my way to a massive data center. Well then, we have lots of work ahead of us. MPI is not sanctioned by any standards, nevertheless has become a de facto standard for default communication among processes that model parallel. Type 0 plus 0.2 in the console, you will see something weird. Bro, I'm not doing that shit. We're busy working on stuff here. It would be a waste of our CEO's time if we did that. Memory models when running on NUMA architectures. I have not heard of this. Okay, whenever I see this is something I always do, but here. Oops. Looks like the header's gone. I wonder who took it. Oh, it could have been me. Oh, there we go. Nice. Is this a server architecture? NUMA? That is a dual CPU server right there. I'm telling you guys. That's dual CPUs on a server. NUMA architectures are logically follow scaling from symmetrical processing architectures. They were developed commercially during the 1990s by Unisys, Convex, later Hewlett Packard, Honeywell, Silicon Graphics, Sequent Computer, later IBM, Data General, Dell Technologies, Digital, Compaq, then HP, now HPE. So many different names, bro. NUMA. It's like network something, probably. AMD implemented NUMA with its Opteron processor. AMD Opteron eBay. Oh, fucking shit. $200 for Opterons, bro? What if I want to game on it? How am I gonna game on it if it's gonna cost so fucking much, bro? This one might be doable. That one's like... Bro, these are within the spec of the... What the fuck is this socket, though? AMD. AMD socket, bro. That one looks like one I can use. I'll put that on my watch list, bro. Like, that actually looks like it will fit in a Optiplex. But anyway, non-uniform memory access. I like pictures, but I don't know what any of this means really. I didn't read enough. NUMA versus cluster. One can view NUMA. Wait a second. It's shared memory. So shared memory access means that all the processors can access the same memory. Oh, we might Java 7. Support for NUMA aware memory and garbage collector. Ooh. Anyway, we don't like that. We don't like NUMA, but we like MPI. Why am I looking at MPI? What am I doing all this? Today, I am become NPI. The destroyer. Hello, MPI, the destroyer of planets, and we're gonna build all of our computers into one system using MPI soon. But I gotta show you the progress I made since yesterday. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and open an Xterm instance. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Fuck you, NVIDIA. Every second of the day. Oh. I just realized that we have a C++ today. There are only two things wrong with C++. The initial concept and the implementation. Java's pretty lame right now. Let's get a better Java one, please. Whenever I write code in Java, I feel like I'm filling out endless forms in triplicate. Okay, that one was way better. AKA JRM. Oh, what's his name? I want to add one for NVIDIA too, just to make sure that we have everything covered. Actually, let me go ahead and find jokes about NVIDIA. 7 NVIDIA jokes and puns. Listicles for jokes. We'll just have to scroll through Reddit and store all of the Reddit comments in one file. I need more NVIDIA jokes, though. I need some NVIDIA insults. I need those. At some point. Oh, shit. Building my quantum supercomputer. Let's CD into D-Lang, since I gotta get started with today's episode anyway. LS. Sorry. Oh my god, bro. The tiredness, the fatigue. /. Okay, so I got it working. Check it out. It works, guys. NVIDIA has 6 letters. And so I have 3 U short. So the byte packing's working now. Why is that important? Well, check this out. If I take off if I do NVIDIA. Oops. Still works. Still works. Perfectly fine. 2 letters. Works with the letter N as well. Wait a second. Double check that that's not the same. 2688. That's fine. But all of these are unique indexes. So that's pretty good. That's a good start. I mean, it's not the most dense way of storing them, but instead of storing cars, which are like and not really easy to process, we now are storing 16-bit numbers. So if I were to write those into, let's see, for example, for each, and then if we were to do write F, let's go ahead and call this dump bin. Let's rename it to dump bin and change what it does. Write FLN, and then do this %b 0 16. Pretty sure 17 would be just an extra 0. That's just to pad out it with zeros. This is to say, put it in binary and then pad with 16 zeros. That's what that does. It's the entirety of what it does. Gen bin. Dump bin. Me, I am dumb. It only dumped one. Alright, there is only one there. That's NVIDIA in ushort binary. So next step is to... You can see these are all different things, pretty much. Now, let's go ahead and explain what happens in this. So, as you saw, we were able to get different letters out. But if I do that, you'll notice... Why is each one ending in 16, though? What's it writing after each one that makes it end in 16? Oh, it's putting the 0, 16 from here. Actually, just put it as binary. Should be fine anyway. It's a U short. Don't need to pad a U short with zeros. There we go. That's much better. Format is binary. You should have 0, 16. What the fuck? Don't do that. That was dumb of me. But, you see it just puts a shit ton of zeros in the second half of the U short. That's basically what happens whenever there is no letter afterwards, is it decides to put a 0 in there and append it to arg. Because args are string arrays. So as we pass them through... Now, one thing I was thinking was, what if I don't want to use args, but I instead wanted to take a string array? So what I would need to do is create a system that takes an input and then puts it into a array. So that's one thing I want to implement, which is a read function. And that's something I want to do. But let's focus on doing that later, whereas now we need to focus on figuring out how to process these and do stuff with them. Because obviously, if the program only runs... Well, actually, so yeah, we would need to... Let's create our constant input, or whatever the hell we're going to call it. Create a void run, or void get arg. Cool, that's good. It's a good function name. Oh yeah, we could just make this one a string, by the way. So it doesn't even need to be anything fancy. We're gonna do readln. There is a chomp, but that doesn't really matter too much. We're gonna just do readln and start from there. Readln, right? That's all it needs. Oh, I need to import readln. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S. Readln. Boom. And let's just go ahead and add get args. So instead of importing core.runtime, we're just gonna, well, we'll still do that, but actually for now we'll make it void. No, string array. So readln, and then the string array for getArgs is going to equal that. But for now, we're just going to return readln. So we'll do parser dot getArgs And we'll just write ln. I hope that works. I have a feeling this won't work. I know why it won't work. Because it won't. But that's not a good explanation. Let me explain it a bit better. So I don't think you can read ln in a write ln. I'm not sure. It's something to do with, like, figures. Anyway, back. Yeah, so you can't read ln to that, clearly. But to generate the... There was a few ways we did it before. We used high-level stuff, but I don't like to import stuff. And I don't want to have to import stuff, but I might have to. But it was import standard dot algorithm. I haven't really coded before, but I want to start coding. Do you have any general tips to start coding? Decide on a language, and then see if it's good, and then if it's not something you like, then, I don't know. Just read a lot. There's a lot to read. Whoa. I have no idea, though. Let's see. Honestly, this wallpaper's got to change right now. It's got to go to data maxing. No, Todd Arch? Linus Torvald. Back to the Linus Torvald background for today. This is what gets all the viewers, bro. They're like, oh, this guy used Arch, by the way. So we need to get Arch. Well, I could just call this dot get Arch. And then we just append or equals this dot get args. And then instead of doing all that stuff, we'll just see what it does with this. And to get args, it's going to read ln, but it's only going to do it one time. It's just going to iterate through it and separate it down into pieces. So this dot args equals this dot get args. Should be able to compile. Import standard dot algorithm splitter. Pretty sure that's one of the things we need, but that also means I'll have to set up delimiters and stuff. But pretty sure it's splitter and standard dot string chomp. But you want to avoid chomp, I think. Although I don't believe you can do read. I don't think that works usually. So read ln. And if this is only really going to be used here, then we'll just declare this as private then. Just because, even though we won't really do inheritance from this, I hope, should probably be declared like that. And then you would do chomp. And then the string array will be called like args or something, like string. Actually, just call it input. String input equals that. Now, let's go ahead and open example code I have on my system. I should have a good example of this in our examples folder from way back when I was working on it before. Examples. Dealing program examples right here. D examples. No, was it this one? It was like this one. One of these two. Probably this. Import standard.string chomp. Import standard.algorithm. Searching can find. Splitter. Okay, those are good. Standard.array split. Where's all the code, bro? This ain't even 100 lines, bro. It's 99. Okay. String input equals chomp read out loud. And then you do write ln. And then actually we'll skip that. Then auto words equals token make input. But what is token make again? Token make was parallel. Pretty sure that's how I did it before. It was like parallel. Should have been a token make, token substitute, token make. Auto output equals input dot splitter dot array. Return output. Could just return that and auto it. The type is auto. I autoed a fucking function. What was I thinking back then, bro? How the hell did I manage that? Bro, that's some cracked playing right there. Anyway, what all does it do again? It's like you auto it, and then you have to return it as auto. Wow. So, I'm not doing that exact thing, but we can do that in here. So, we're taking input, right? And we're going to convert it down... Oh, wait, this actually just takes it and breaks it into individual pieces. We're going to break it into a string array is the goal. So, that shouldn't be too hard, really. I think that's pretty reasonable. So let's continue. What was it again? Oh, it needed array and split. Was it array and split? Yeah, it was. It was array and split. I remember that. Splitter.array. I don't think it needs split. It just needs the .array property from standard.array. Or is that a function? It's one of those two. Ugh. Terrible. Anyway, let's go to fish AI.d and then put it in there. What was it? Standard.array comes before algorithm, right? Because R is before A. I hate doing this many fucking imports. Please spare me of imports in the future. Standard.array array. Array colon array semicolon. Array of arrays. Which I do have an array. It's called U short array tensor. Array of arrays. It's like the most ultimate array maxing. Oh yeah, I misspelled that. Fucking loser. Huh. Damn, bro. I'm a loser for misspelling that. Auto. And then, let's call it Autobots equals Autobots, bro. Autobots rollouts. Very nice. Beautiful programming at this time. Autobots equals... Okay. Well, no. Does it return the output as an auto, and then in void main, it just... That's not good at all. Did I just auto the words for each word of words? Because this usually returns a lazy when you use chomp and splitter. We're gonna just return. Return bots. We're gonna return output instead, because that's fucking lame-o how I did it before. We can do this in 2 steps. It's pretty simple, I'd say. And then you just take auto output equals input and then splitter. However, I'm just gonna shopticate this piece, copy, and paste it into this code. It actually is input.splitter. Damn. Splitter, and then this is the things it looks for that it will take out. So anything in this is a delimiter, basically. And then it makes an array from that. Really lazily, but should be able to return a string array. And if it complains, well then I say, why the fuck is it complaining? It's stupid then. It's lame-o mode. Prevents Count Dooku from escaping your 2 gigabytes of cloud DDR at Amazon Web Services? Damn, bro. That's a shame. Just return input dot splitter. See if that works. Amogus. Mogatoga. Oh, it actually fucking worked. Hello, Gordon. Hello, Gordon. Alright, that means I can while loop. Alright, let's go ahead and put this in a while loop then. Get it quantumly suspended. While true. We gotta put an escape word in there so that way the AI doesn't go rogue. It goes Joe Rogan. Bing, 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 bing. Bro, OpenAI should hire me, bro. And trust me, bro. I'd be great for their company, probably. I could be their sales rep. Hello, Gordon. What? What? Wowie. Ah, look at that. I've just learned some new features of the language. Or of the machine. Oh, it's calling auto parser equals new parser. Oh, and that can't be private. That has to be called. We cannot call the... We have to recall the constructor to rebuild this.args every time. However, doing this initiates the next sequence, where it goes parser.token make. Doesn't store the last sequence. So, like, even though I just typed in wowie, and it just did that, it only replaced the first array. So it doesn't keep the index globally of where it's currently at inside of the tensor array. That means it doesn't know where to start on the next iteration and what array to make of that. So that's very interesting. Wow, Zona. See, now it's making weird empty indexes. Huh. 3? That's about expected. So it makes a new index, but it doesn't go into that index. It doesn't know where it's at all. I know exactly what's going on with that one. We'll fix that up real quick. Somehow. Not sure how to store where it's at, though. That's a problem to solve, though. It's a good problem. Because figuring out where it's at shouldn't be too difficult. It should be like just storing a number somewhere. But it's to figure out what the number needs to contain. So in this tensor, you got 3 different arrays, which are 3 different levels. And I've written it out here. You got tensor 1 will be like the base layer. It's literally this one. The second one is this. And the third one is like the lowest level. That gets you an index. So that's the most simplest form of what I've built so far. But to actually get things into that next index, so the actual string itself will be technically a void, almost. It will actually be the point where it increments the array index, and everything will reference that. Or on exit of this token make worker, we could do it there too. Which I think makes the most sense since it's pretty much more relevant to put it there. This is for just initialization. Whereas in this one, when it exits, it would make the most sense to add an index in there. Now, how do we figure out which index we're going to use? Well, obviously we're going to use ID for that. However, we might have to store as a 3-dimensional array. Well, a 4-dimensional one. 3-dimensional is okay, but like, I think a 4-dimensional one would be what we need. Because this has 3, right? Well, actually, no, not really. I mean, wait, does it? So that first one tells it what index to store at. So for example, this would if I had 1 here, it's going into that one. That's why we get all of these extra brackets in each one, because it's putting in a new array in that one, but it's not actually making a new array. And this just looks really hard to understand. It's not actually that hard to understand. It just needs to make sure that instead of putting it in ID, the ID stays static and is global. So that would be the easiest way to do it. This is what needs to change. Now it's time to figure out how we get the ID to be static without impacting the task pool, which is kind of complicated because task pool automatically increments that. However, we could do a static. I don't know if it can be static, but it also might need to be G shared. No, it doesn't. Don't do that. Actually, it doesn't need to be static either. It just needs to have a reference for what it needs to be at. We'll call that reference ulong position. Or ulong, yeah, sure, why not? Ulong position will store where it needs to be at. So how do we make ulong position exist? We just have to set ulong position to equal I and then re-reference it for each one. Or, yeah, I guess this would be, well, the ID. So in token make, it should be ID plus ulong position, which by default is 0. Or uninitialized for now. Which should work with ulong. It shouldn't have any problems with like being null. That's usually for like float. So then args of I, which I is passed through one of these, cast ubyte, args of I, and then I, plus position. So that gives you the position, right? Or, well, gives you I plus position. Well, that's what we need. Because then it will be like, whoa, we left off there last time. That's where we'll pick up this time. Plus position. So we don't actually need a 4-dimensional array. That's at least my hope. Because that would be fucking cringe. I'd have to rewrite a lot. World good. God damn it. Still doing it. What the hell? Okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. Still doing it. Well, let's go ahead and write the line out for what the position and I is. Well, what is position? Well, we take in ID, so let's just write ln for the ID to start off. And then the position. That should get us to where we need to be. Index 1 is out of bounds for array length of 1. That happens sometimes. What the word bird. Huh? Why no worky? So here we had index 0, and then we had 1 and 0. Then here we have 2 and 0. And then we have... It does need to be global. What am I doing? Needs to be a static. And then we'll fix that exception that it keeps throwing. Looks better, but doesn't, yeah, no, that's no worky either. Still because we're declaring parser as a new parser every time. Auto parser equals parser. I wonder if you can call the constructor without actually reconstructing it. Actually, that should be fine, though. All that does, that's fine. I don't know why I was thinking that's a problem. Well, no, because then you wouldn't be... You'd just be redoing the parser every time, too. That'd be a problem. I think you can call the constructor manually. For now, we'll just leave this in... No. No, that's evil. That's terrible. Stop doing that. Parser dot... This. Right? That should be a constructor for it. Which language are you using? D-Lang? Not this. Parser dot... maybe you can't call them from... It's fine. I don't want to have to write a fucking thingamajib. Identifier of new expected following dot. Oh. Maybe parser dot new? What the hell? Parser dot new. Yes? Oh, parser dot new parser? What? What the hell? Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Me being new to... Oop. I'm gonna put this back in here for now. It seems to be working fine, even though it's re-initializing every fucking time. Pro tip, you can use SSH to connect to your server. Yeah, I do that. I also use SCP to copy files. It looks like it is counting up. It just isn't storing the index correctly. Maybe it's not G-shared. Is it called? Yeah, it is calling. Fuck! It's gotta be G shared and static. Maybe, well, I think it can just be G shared and it works like a static anyway. We'll figure it out. I like solving problems by just figuring it out. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if it works without staticking. With no static, does it still work? Hello, world. What is good? That is the error again. Let's see. Index 3 is out of bounds for array length of 3. So somewhere it's not actually increasing the array length. Where do we create the array length for that? What am I making? I'm making Super Grok. It's gonna be better than Grok. It's gonna be my own super AI. It's gonna be the Archlord. Arch Jesus. Wow. But it's gonna be better. Oh shit. We don't need to pull up the research right now. So let's see. This is something to do with parallelism and doing some interesting things. I think it's because they're all accessing stuff at the same time, and then things are changing all at the same time, and then bad stuff happens. Arch Jesus. Try it again and put Arch Jesus again. Look, Arch Jesus works sometimes. So it's something to do with, like, parallel threads hitting, like, the same array. Or pulling from the U-long. Scope int delegate U-long. And it's passing the U-long. Maybe this one finishes as the next one starts or something? Give me free subscription for this when you're done. Bro, I'm gonna make it open source. Why would I charge people money for something like this? That's evil. This should be a tool that everybody has. When it's done, it will be capable of destroying humanity. Super AI. It's gonna be the Terminator. Or as I called it yesterday, the T-Moonator. I don't know why I said that, but I was like, yeah, it's gonna be the T-Moonator. Clear. G shared. Let's make it static again. I think that fixes a lot of the issues it was having. Although it doesn't seem to need to be static. Why did I clear it? /. Hello world. This is good. No. Exception. Index 5 out of bounds for array length of 5. Handling length at the end is a bad idea. So maybe length of that needs to equal the amount of IDs we have. Open source, even better. Exactly. Well, yeah, I'll do the whole thing open source, honestly. Hell, if we get big enough, bro, we'll do the whole thing for open source T800. We'll have the entire data center open source. I won't need employees. People will just show up and do the data centering. See, that's the genius, is that if you were to just open source everything, you wouldn't have employees. You just have a bunch of autists doing everything. Which would be perfect. Just discovering your stream. The audio is clear. What's your mic setup and keyboard? I use, what is it called? Here, I'll just LS USB since I don't remember what the hell it's called. I know the keyboard's Corsair K100 or whatever. Yeah. I don't have RGB though, I have just the G. I just have G because NVIDIA. Data maxing today. NVIDIA gate. Oh, sorry. Need some advice as a dev. What do you think about getting a CompTIA A+ or CCNA? I've never heard of those things, but I'll check it out. Bro, I do have to get an Operaton. I gotta get that next paycheck. Bro, that's on my mind now. What do you say? Comptia A+, or CCNA? Or CCNA? Yeah, what is that? Oh, it's for like IT stuff? I have no idea, man. I don't work in IT. Bro, I work in some completely different field from IT and stuff like that. I eventually am gonna transfer over to that stuff, though. Eventually. When I get the opportunity to do so. But it will be a while, so... And at that point, I don't know if I would do that, though, because I wouldn't really be able to talk about what I'm doing at that point. And I like to keep my work and my hobby separate. This is just a hobby for me. Anyway, what we're looking at, we were looking at void standard parallelism task. It's trying to do, or it is working in a loop. I think because it hits this, and it's in a loop. And I think it needs to wait. The certs do cover over Linux config, you'll fit in. I've done a little bit of stuff like that. Let me change from this, because this background is absolutely the most fuck-ass background I have. I mean, it's cool. It's not my background that I like. It's not that background I like. That's this one's the one. This one's perfect right here. Perfection is this one. I've decided. I'll just... Bro, let's just ls USB after I do that. Yeah, that's totally what I need to do. If we do it fast enough, it should cause it to crash. What about 3? Clear. Screen. Please. See, that's a lot of binary that I just typed in. This could be like a just-in-time compiler, maybe? No, that wouldn't work. Then you'd have to type in whatever the exact combination of characters from UTF would be for an actual opcode. Unless I mean, I guess the idea could be there. I guess it comes down to the actual byte packing, or how I do it, where I use... Well, we covered it yesterday, how that even works. But basically, you just shift things, and then you OR things together, which is what I'm doing here. I guess I could try to make this better, but that's not the point of today. I'm trying to fix things and then get things working. I saw that there's like Kubernetes certs and things out there. It's pretty interesting. I was looking at those, I was like, huh. Maybe I should try that out, but then I was like, nah. Kubernetes is so stupid anyway. I don't see the point. I don't understand Kubernetes. It's like, what is the point of that? So we got token dump, parser dump, bin, and dump. I think this could cause issues, but I want to see where it actually... Array. So when the array length is long enough, index 6 is out of bounds for an array length of 3. I think the way to do it is just to set the array length before reaching that. So before even starting processing, I think this starts processing before it's able to make the length, and then at the end, everything starts appending all at the same time. Oh. Wait. It could potentially be... We had 6 words in there, so that makes sense. But it only would for each 3 times, right? And is it because it's adding the other thing? maybe if it's adding position to it as well, that could potentially be an issue. Are you using Vim? No, I'm not using Vim. I'm using Kate, which is the most evil thing you can use. Vim is nice, but like, here, I'll even open Vim. Let's just cd ... and Vim something random. Actually, no. cd back into that one. Vim bash rc. Vim's pretty cool. I don't know much about it, really, but you just hit, like, insert for replace. Insert to put things in. You can do, like, cuts of things. You can hit escape, V, and then, like, copy stuff using YY. Or just do a line, be like, YY. And then just hit P. And then you can delete it all by holding delete. Or you could do that again and hit O. Let's do Y 4. Oh, actually. Oh, backspace? Oh, backspace just takes you places. Let's do YY. Let's do 4Y. Y. 4 lines are yanked. Hit P. And then I could do 4D. D. 4DD. 4 fewer lines. Pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of advantages there, but I'm not good enough at this thing to actually really use all of them yet. Shift : QA exclamation point, please. Please. Otherwise, you can hit Control ZZ, but that's another thing. Let's see what I'm doing. I don't think it matters that it's static. I think it's just to do with logic. So logic's not there. I don't think it has to do with the position either. I think what it has to do with is having these lengths correct. So we'll take the length of args and pass that to create the dot length for each of these. Are you one of those devs who doesn't use a mouse? I mean, you see my mouse cursor right now, don't you? I think that's good enough, right? That says a lot. Anyway, at the end of execution, plus that. Or maybe we could do that for each of them. No, I'll do that at the end. That'll be done at the end of them. Alright, so this happens before any execution of those happens. The problem is setting the length won't just be as easy as setting the length. It has to be like, this is going to equal itself plus another value. Because tensor.length plus equals, and then tensor.length plus equals another one. Something like this will have to be required. Or, let's see, tensor plus equals args.length. So itself and args.length together equals itself, essentially. That should do the trick, but if it complains, well, we'll figure that out soon enough. Identifier ID. Okay. Oh, right. Position gives us this. The position will give us that. I think the idea of not using a mouse is pretty valid, though, honestly. I don't like using the mouse a whole lot. I try to avoid it. but I still use it sometimes. It's just kind of habit, I guess. Fish AI. Hello world. Try it again. See if it's that I fucked shit up or no. Yeah, it is. Index 0. What is args.length? Bro, where is there a right ln that is misspelled? There is a misspelled right line somewhere in my code. Found it. It's right there. That was freaking me out for a second. Very typical mistake for me to make. Right ln args.length. We want to grab that and then do stuff with that, and then yeah, do stuff, cook with that. What the hell? What? Oh, I'm forgetting how to do tabs. What am I doing, bro? It's called 3 AM and I'm cooking. Two. What if it needs to equal? It's well, this is plus equal. Well, isn't that gonna give you the That's interesting. I know I kind of know what's going on. The array length is 2, right? And so why does the array length get set correctly, though? Tensor.length. Give me the tensor.length afterwards. Right ln tensor.length. Just gonna go through one at a time and figure out what the problem might be. Tensor.length. It doesn't even hit that. It does generate the 2 arrays. What's going on line 58? See what's going on there. Tensor of ID. So is tensor of ID. Oh. That's what's going on. This is thread local. The first one needs to equal that, but then this needs to plus equal the position and shit. ID is still going to get initialized as the position. Yeah. Okay. I plus position will always be ID. So we just need to do this here. I don't believe we need to pass args.length to it. So we just need to plus this here. Before we do anything, I think that will work. Three strings is too many? Question mark, question mark. Oh, I was like, damn, I must have broke it. So why is it failing now? I got 10 length. So 10 and 4. Where does it write out 10 and 4 at? Right ln tensor length. Where is that? 7. Oh, it got 7 of them. So then its length was 10. Oh, but it's only adding 7 to it. So tensor length before. Let's go ahead and confirm that what I think is correct, but it should be tensor length before, because I'm pretty sure I'm doing the addition wrong. Oh? Wait, that fixed it? Question mark, question mark. This is very interesting. The U-short packing is also so cool to see, though. Alright, try it again. /fish.ai. Hello, world. 3 strings is too many strings. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I think I fixed this somehow. What did I change? I didn't change anything. It's just working. This ain't how that works. Hello world, is this too many strings? Question mark, question mark, question mark. It just works, guys. I don't know what to say. It wasn't working before. We need to really stress test this and figure it out. What is this code doing? Pass one of these to it. No! Now I've copied it. Copy. Pasta. Ah, still broken. Holy shit, that's a lot of exceptions. That's for every thread it threw an exception because it was too long. Alright, try it again. Yep, so the array length was too long. How many words did it come up with? So it made it to like 30 words. The message passing interface effort began in the summer of 1991 when a small group of researchers started discussions at a mountain retreat in Austria. And it took that and decided the length is 25. Then it went to 30. Wait, and then it went to 41. How did it get 25 out of that? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, that's correct. 25 is correct. So if it grabbed 25, then why is 30 IDs present? Index 31. What happened? How did that occur? Am I confused or something? Am I wrong? Am I wrong that there's 30 IDs there? And there's only 25 lines? And then there's a fucking giant stack trace? Well, not even stack trace, it's just a fucking pile of core dump. The mountain of core dump. Yes. We built this city on a mountain of core dump. 27, 30, 33. Where are we writing out IDs for things as well? Right, ln ID and output. Okay. And then why is it writing after ID and output? What is it writing there? It's dropping 26 and 8. It counts 25 though. So when the arcs are made, there is 25 arcs. But why is it only doing that? Maybe it needs a buffer. Seg fault core dumped. We're building mountains of core dump today. That's what we're doing. Maybe it created too many threads. No, that's not a thing usually. Usually it queues them. In my experience, we've queued threads a billion times, so I'm not sure how that's working out. Although, maybe I need to use message passing for that. We'll see. 0, 0, 0. So before it does something, for this, it will write out the... Let's get rid of any write ln. So like ID and position. And let's get rid of the output and ID. Oh, it doesn't even work with hello world anymore. That's great. I guess it doesn't like it when I throw this shit in here. Okay. Message passing interface. Oh, it freaked out with that one. It was like, what the fuck did I just eat, bro? What? What? Something to do with initializing the words or something. But also it's to do with length. So if the index length... But we're creating the correct index length by assigning it, like at the start. If we take the string args, and that's the input length, which one is the one that we're incrementing? Which fucking part of the tensor is wrong to where the length is not correct? Tensor ID.length. Maybe? It shouldn't be that one. Maybe it also needs to have plus position. Potentially. That might fix something. Hello world. Hello world. But you can see that it threw an exception right at the start as well. So that doesn't mean it needs plus position. That would indicate it doesn't need that. It's not asking me for plus position, it's asking me for something else. Okay. And this has to do with the length, though. Oh, it actually got to the... What? It's doing 2? Bro, this is crazy. It's throwing so much bullshit right now. Index 39 is out of bounds for an array length of 36. How about we static them? That's the issue. If it's static, every time we reinitialize, it won't be reinitialized. It will stay. Because it's just, even though it's a new thread, both of them are static, so they'll never change. Well, they will change because we're doing shit to them, but I think they'll be fine. The problem is excess. Excess might be a problem. I think it could potentially be a problem. Where did I do that one change at? That didn't really do shit. Plus position? Get rid of that. Re-DMD it. /. No, where's my favorite fucking line of the fucking Wikipedia? Designed for parallel computing architectures. Wowie. Give me that one. Index 28 is out of bounds for an array length of 19. It's something to do with how the token make works, in that every time we do I plus position, I don't think it has to do with the length. The original length right here, hello world, was 2. The second one was that. So if initially that's 2 and the next one's that, what is args.length then again? Let's do the same scenario and then not change anything, so that way we can have the most accurate results. Hello world, right? So we got our 2. Let's give it let's give it this exact string again. Then 19. Why did it only add 2? It's to do with adding. It only added 2. The reason it did that is because, although I think I need to make these static, I think gshared doesn't even, I think gshared does that already. Because we're putting 2 in there, why is it 17 before, oh well, actually that's just the args.length. The original value of the hello world length was 2. This args.length, args.length is only like what, 2. Args.length was args.length and tensor length combined, but this is a lot more than 19, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's correct. So 17 plus 2 gives you 19. But then index 22 is out of bounds for an array length of 19. It's something to do with the original ulong position. At the end, it needs to say position equals 0 when it reinitializes. So every time it calls this, let's just reinitialize position as 0. Void fish AI parser. Yes. Cast void, bro. Or actually, what am I doing? This dot position equals 0. But the problem is, position is used to then create the positions for each of the strings, so that way, even though we just had hello world as a thing on the tensors, it will append these all afterwards. And why am I not just appending? I need more control than append provides, so if I weren't to use the IDs and stuff, then it wouldn't work. However, let's write out what that would equal. Or no, not that, but the... Well, if we add position, it just increases it. But the indexes need to be on that position. Oh, but the length still needs to add position to it. But I thought we already tried that. Didn't we already try that and it just... What am I saying, man? It does need that. Alright, pull up the Wikipedia so I can just grab that line. Okay, still throwing an exception. But the length was closer to correct. Out of bounds for an array length of that. Because it needs... +1? What if I just +1 in there? What a very good design. Truly a good feature. Wowie. Wowazowie. Wowazoa. That's literally all it needs. Oh? Amogos. Mogoesh. 22. Tensor. Is tensor.length impacting stuff later on? Is position based off of tensor.length in any potential way? Tensor ID.length. Index 25 is out of bounds for the array length of that. We know the array length is 19. So that should be fine. Works with those, but you can see here, now it's 6. Because we're adding position. Position has no impact in this. So it literally is just args.length. Probably +1 to tensor.length. Alright, I'm paying more attention to what's even going on. That's part of the issue, is what I was not paying attention to before. Hello world should give 2 and 4, which it did. Index 4 is out of bounds for an array length of 4. Ah. It's calling an index position -1. That might fix it, but I don't want them to place on the same index. Wow. Okay. Don't do it in this. That's the problem there. We just tried to put it on the... What is it? The maximum integer limit for fucking ulong. Because I subtracted and made it negative. And it's unsigned, so it just went to the maximum number anyway. Oops. Well, I didn't make it negative. I just subtracted this from 0. And then it fucking goes to the maximum number. Hey, I guess that's one way to figure out the maximum number. Just subtract by fucking 0 on a ulong. 64 bits right there. Well, probably the 87 or 86 bit extension. One of those two. Wappy. Oh, yeah. What am I doing? We need to do something with length here to give them the correct positioning. But they need to be placed on the correct one. So it works like this. Okay, so without using positioning for anything. You'll see it works. If I were to do Hello World again, or Half-Life 3. Ah, it's making a bunch of different indexes randomly. Because it doesn't know where to place itself. What am I doing? The position. So we are incrementing position, but ID plus position. That's probably what it needs to be. Try that again and see if that did anything. Ooh! How the hell did that happen? I'm breaking my code today. Let's undo everything we just did. I think that I'm dumb because doing it that way was stupid of me. Let's keep position there and keep some of the stuff for the position. See what it was doing before. Hello world. Should just increment over itself, which it kind of does. But then it creates 2 indexes there. Maybe I just need a function that handles the extension and placement of these. Well, why is this one 0? Why is tensor ID and then the array? Oh. That makes sense, though. I don't think this is like a pain in the ass, bro. Maybe don't do that there, but we call ++ position inside of this. Oh wait, you can't do that there. Let's just ignore all of this ideas. We'll start from scratch. I had a good idea, but that's not gonna work. We'll just try to figure out what I broke and then fix that. Breaking things to fix things. I love this. This is so yes. Let's make a new... Well, I mean, you could just store them as structs and then just slapticate structs on there, but... An array of U-short arrays is way better. And where does it do that at? So it is the length of each of them. ++ ID plus position dot length. ++ position. Let's work on that one first. See about this. Identifier position. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess technically A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, element of P __ G shared U short. What's the fucking oosh? That was what it wanted. No U short. Hey, U short, bro. Fucking U short, bro. It's even on the screen. U short, bro equals 0. Get lamed on. Get clowned on. Today. Live. Position is just to indicate where the index is gonna go. But how do we get the length then? Hello, Gordon. Index 2 is out of bounds for array length of 2. Are you really serioso, Amogus? Amogus, Bobby. Tensor plus position dot length. But it's G shared. However, let's pull a reference. At the time that these start, what's going on is that the threads are modifying position before it can get there. And that causes it to occasionally, as you can see here, if one of the threads is completed way too before the other one, then it's just like, oh fuck, we can't do that. Because it's done in the thread. And so position actually should come from the original args, which just increments upon position. That way it's not G-shared at all. That's what's going on, I think. Keywords, I think, because I don't know, I haven't tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what I've run into. So in the actual loop, now here's the thing, is ++ position shouldn't increase Unless we absolutely know that we need to increase it. Just plus position, man. That's all we need to do. Somewhere. Just gotta figure out the best spot. Well, plus position shifts the index to the right. Do we append? Why don't we append anywhere? I mean, like, we could have... Well, I was appending before. Sets the first index to word. What? Well, actually, wouldn't this also be appending? So it takes the index of 2, though. It's hitting an index of 2. Plus position, right? Huh. Well, actually... Position should equal the length of the previous words. This is a different approach. Where am I doing plus position again? Control S. We're gonna go ahead and backspace on this shit. I think I know what's going on again, but this time I got a different idea. It's a different approach we'll take. Okay, that works. Yeah, and the indexes are just going up. But it never threw an exception there, because I think it's just more stable or something. I don't know. Maybe there's not as much going on. There's not as many threads. The more you throw at it, the better. Okay. I gotta get faster at typing to break this thing. Let's see. That should be its own function. I thought about this earlier. And after it does token make, right? The length should still exist. Is this the thing I'm gonna do right now? Did I just do this? Please do it. Two. So, this is gonna make my position. So we're gonna create a make position. Actually, we'll call it, I'm really in the mood to use initialization to pass things rather than... Actually, that's a fucking stupid idea, don't do that. Just go ahead and do void... Or is it? Is it really a stupid idea? It's just a return. Like, it's all it is. It's a return. We'll just do ulong and call it... Oh, right. Ulong, what was it again? Oh. Position make. And then it's gonna literally just return a value. Return. What am I doing? Why would I make a function for that? What am I fucking doing? There's no need to make a method, just call it in the constructor. Position plus equals args dot length. Or that. But yeah, just do args dot length. Hopefully it can reference that. Or whatever it's gonna do. Okay, threw an exception right at the start. Position, though, index 3. Oh, shit, because it's trying to use that position right away. Okay, so that's why I had to call it as a method. Never mind, it's gotta be a void method, and it has to be called after constructing. I'll just put it after my string void. And then all my weird voids that are gonna be parallel are gonna go up here. String, private strings. My beautiful code is getting commented today. And, actually, what are they called? Fucking, chud voids, sure. And then parallel voids. I'm very organized, can't you see? Look how organized I am. I'm a programmer. Writing 5 bajillion, gabillion lines of code. Gabajillions. Anyway, the chud voids includes, now, voids. That's still valid, though, after it executes, so... Void make, make, position make. That's what I usually call it. Void position make, and then we go ahead and, position equals args.length. Took me this long to get to the solution. I bet it would have taken Mr. GPT 5 seconds. But that's okay. So now all I have to do is create position length. Parser.position make. After calling token make. Should work. It has to be done after token make. Actually, it could just be put into token make. Well, no, because then you have 1,000 threads calling. Well, actually, you could do it. Couldn't you? Fuck that shit. Why would you put it in a chud void when we could put it in a fucking parallel void where it belongs? With its best friends. The solo chud void versus... Bro, I should have called it like sigma void. Bro, we're back to 2022, bro. Sigma void? Oh god. But that would offend the physicists. They'd be like, wow. Huh? Args, oh. It's a U-long. Sorry, guys. I meant U-long position. Oops. Denied. No property position make for parser. Are you K Serioso? Stop that shit. I'm making my sigma void into the parallel void. It should never have a problem again. Hello, world. Made 2 extra indexes, but it didn't append to those ones. Because it's not even using position at all. So ID needs to be plus position somewhere, and I'm pretty sure that's where I do this. Going step by step, Control C, recompile, and then run it. Hello world. Ah, see? Okay, index 4 is out of bounds for an array length of 4. Now, why is it trying to place there? That's because it's adding position here. If it adds position to that, that's not correct. Position is a length. So, if position is a length, and you're adding a length to where it's going to be placed, what's going to happen is 2 will be added to I. That's what you think would happen, but because I is already a value from here, right? So position always needs to be -1. That way the index will always be valid. Now, how many iterations did it get through on the second one? 0. Because it went to index 5. It did that because it thinks, well, there's somewhere else it must be trying to place the index on. Maybe the for each is still valid. I'll be back in a second. I gotta do something real quick. It'll just be a second. Okay. Pretty sure. I have no clue what's going on. I've returned though. And let's see. Well, I kind of have the idea that there's something wrong with the indexing, so to where the length is 4. Let's add a length of 20, see where it puts position at. Because that's what I had before, was plus position. I don't think plus position is wrong. I think I just can't figure out why it's wrong. So that's my new approach now. Plus 40. See, when in doubt, plus 40 it out. Create the length yourself. Okay. Index 0 is out of bounds at array length of 0. Man, I don't know why it's doing this. This is fucking interesting. It should just add to tensor.length. It just reset it to 0. Maybe it can't reach a certain amount of memory. Maybe it's like there's too much memory being used for hello world with 84 on it. Second thing it writes is tensor.length 84. Index 0 is out of bounds for array length of 0. How did it create an array length of 0? It just probably was like, let's place it on the next index at the end, right after that one. Weirdest fucking behavior ever, bro. What if I'm taking the wrong approaches and I just need to work with appends rather than position and shit? It's like, what if that's it? Position, let's ignore position. Let's just append. Let's create arrays and append those, right? Instead of trying to deal with all this position nonsense and trying to figure out where the fuck it's going, do it simple. You know, keep it simple, stupid. This Arch Linux motto or whatever. Tensor equals output, and it says ID 0. Tensor yeah, but that's correct. So ID, of course, is getting incremented every time. That's the idea. This should work. This code right here should be fine. There we go. Creates 2 extra indexes. Now, that's because... What if instead of using I to create them, we just use the position length itself? Why didn't I think of that before? What have I been fucking doing this whole... Na 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 na. Ay. I'm so dumb. That's what I just thought of right now. Congratulations. The answer is this. Amogus, Bobby. That is the simplest solution of all time. It was in front of me for like the past 2 fucking hours. Ah! What the fucking son of a... Why did he try to put it on 2 though? Hello, world. Oh, now it sets it to 50 fucking bajabillions. Bajabillions? God damn, that's a huge number. Nobody's ever heard of it before. Wait, we're having the same problems where it was an exception, though. And it didn't even append the other one. Bro, this is why people don't make games with good concurrency, because they're all... This shit happens to them, and they're like, oh man, I'm afraid of threads now. Now I'm afraid of concurrency, bro. That's what I'm saying. Is that I'm afraid of concurrency now, because this shit. And then they end up being, like, low-speed programmers who just care about clock speed and not the fucking most threading possible. AKA thread maxing. I think threads are the problem with this program. Tensor ID. What? Plus tensor ID position dot length. Why are we plussing it by position? Why are we... What? Pseudo what? How did that even get in there? Get that out of there. That's why it's broken. Why would I ever put that in there? As you can see, guys, Todd and NVIDIA almost work. Let's see, we get our first one. However, this is it creating arrays to contain each? Yeah, it is. Awesome! Wowie. Wowie zowie. Nice. But it's only storing one word. Wait. It created that, and it created a second. Oh my god, these are killing me inside. If only these were easy, and it was like, alright, here's a giant sheet, right? Here's a giant fucking cube, or square, or grid, if you will. Grid, right? And we're just gonna put what you need on the grid, right? You just tell it, oh, hey, let's put it right here. This is what I'm doing wrong. I need to create an API that allows me to place on the grid the output, not whatever the hell I'm doing right now. But the thing is that then I need to learn, like, nothing. Actually, this shouldn't be that hard to make. I mean, theoretically, what we're doing right now should just be able to be like index, index, index. Should be able to put in 3 indexes and then get out a number. So, where am I at with this? Bro, and these aren't even correct, some of them. Well, actually, bro, it doesn't even work anymore. Oh my fucking god, bro. The pain is unreal. Plus plus tensor of id dot length. So which IDs does it increase the length of? Where's the ID set? What if the plus plus position is done wrong, so it's only placing... It's not doing it before the thread? Well, no, it should do it for the next one. Well, time for another rewrite. Fucking A. But this time let's focus on API instead of trying to place or generate the vector or tensor itself. Let's use some kind of better access. Well, this is working though. Like, surely this is working. No, it's really too complex for my brain to comprehend what the hell this is even doing. God damn it. Oh, wow. I love this. Well, is it calling that afterwards, though? It is calling... No. There is no longer that thing existing, so that doesn't call that. Well, it is looping itself, and then redoing all of the init. Does it re-initialize shit? No. Well then... If parser equals new parser, then... I have a hunch that it just needs to be static on both. I don't think it's actually static. I think that's why everything is doing weird stuff. Nope. It should create one here and one there. It's just saying that the position 0 inside of ID, which in this case was 0. Now, does it take ID and subtract 1? Does it take ID... Where does it add it? Hello again. Yeah, my brain's getting fucking melted right now. Put it here. Let's see if this is fine. Okay, so that should set its index to 2. Huh. So 2, right, that makes sense. What did I just do, bro? What's up, dog? Oh, I see. Yeah, bro, I've been doing this problem for like 2 hours now. I created the problem by doing something. I said, let's go ahead and add in the ability to keep it running for a while and make it not use args. So before I had it to where it was getting two different ones of these set up inside of my array of arrays. Also, would I like to have a 4th dimension for sentences and a 5th one for paragraphs? What's the problem? Tell me. Well, I just told you it doesn't put the second one in this one. There should be 2 of these. Is it even processing the second one? I don't think it even processes the second one. Let's put an ID in the thread. Like, write ln ID. Write ln ID, please. Can I see some ID and verification, please? Can I see your ID and driver's registration? 0? Ah, so it's only getting to 0. Why is it not getting to do that? There's 2 threads. Hello world 2. Okay. Where's it subtracting 1? It's subtracting something somewhere. Position equals args.length plus 1? No. Why is it setting that at the end? Ah, that might be part of the issue. We're doing plus plus position there, and then we're setting it to equal args.length. What am I... What? That does not help at all. No wonder it doesn't work. Missing pieces of the code. Hello world. So it should have 2 per. This should be 1. And it should have created another one in this. Still not doing that correctly. So then let's look at this code. Plus plus tensor ID length. And then the tensor ID of 0. That's correct though. That's putting it in the first slot. So it should only go in the first slot of each one that it creates, right? But then ID is getting passed correctly. So that puts it in ID 2, which skips this index. So that means, where is ID 1? That means it increments twice, so it identifies 2 different strings. That's working. So it identified the 2 different strings. It's still using args of I. Let's use args of position? Or set position to equal I. No, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Args of position? Try that. Nope. Now what happened there? So it skipped it, but it did generate the second array for the word. So that's good. So it got the first word, but then it didn't grab the second word of the sentence. And they can't be appended because if you append, it's going to just place it wherever the hell it wants. Tensor.length plus equals args.length. That would be correct. That is correct. It should be tensor.length plus equals that. Alright, so we're not worried about length anymore. Length is no longer the issue. Like, the past hour, the entire fucking stream, basically. Ever since we got, readln working, but that's fine. Should be just putting it into here. How much time did you spend to learn D? I've been working on D for 8 months now. Learning D for 8 months. 6 or 7, probably 8 months. I don't even remember, bro. I started like, what was it, like April or so? Plus tensor ID dot length. Tensor of ID equals output. Are we appending? Okay, that's cool. That's fine. Plus, why am I adding to the ID at length? Well, because then I have to put in this to the index of 0. But is that the first or second letter? It doesn't show me the first one. So that's because we're doing the dump bin right here instead of doing that. So it only gets to index 0. What? But why? We need to write ln what's going on here. Let's write ln and let's get our arg. You're smart, I guess. I mean, it's not a lot. It's just D is simple. I spent 1 year to build my first bootloader in assembly. Bro, I couldn't even build a bootloader if you asked me, bro. I wouldn't even know where to start. I could probably figure it out pretty fast. Wait, it's taking 2 of the same index of the array? So it, oh wait, that's because it's taking position. Yeah, let's just put I in there. Like, we got byte packing working yesterday. That was pretty good. Okay, we have two different indexes, although they're being handled by the same one. It's so easy, man. I will help you if you want. No, I'm good. I like to learn by doing things and failing at them, so I prefer to do things a lot by myself. But their ID's both 0. What is I in this equation? I think we're getting to the end point. We're finding the culprit. It's I. I am the culprit. I is 0, I is 1. What? That fixed it? What the fucking shit? It just needed... This is... I like this, but, will it work on the second attempt? What the fuck? Why? Maybe I doesn't initialize brain train. But let's just be honest, a bootloader and assembly requires some works. Bro, assembly is like the hardest shit of all time. This is D though. D is easy. D is easy, but you can't just write an entire bootloader or operating system in D. Maybe you could. But I don't think... Well, I did hypothesize that it was potentially possible, but that's not really good because then I didn't actually start working on it at all. Like, I thought about it. Like, I was like, well, you could potentially get the correct boot order. But I think it's binary the hardest one. Well, binary is just like assembly, but like you just gotta learn the opcodes and like how to put shit in there. But I don't know. And it also is like, I don't know, so system dependent too with like a lot of the lowest level stuff. But like assembly is kind of just like a kind of a higher level than binary. I think binary would be way harder. I feel like each system is kind of different in some parts, but like they might all say, well, for at least ARM, they'll all say ARM, but then they'll be like completely different under the hood. Be like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? What? I feel like x86 is different though. x86 is pretty standardized for the most part, I think. But then still there's like, sometimes under the hood things are different. Myself like assembly and brainfuck too. Brainfuck is easier than assembly because it's just 8 symbols. Bro, ARM is like fucking the most proprietary, most terrible of all time. It's proprietary maxing. But I did 86 in the ARM assembly for some videos. Or well, streams in the past. Assembly is just a human readable way of binary pretty much. Yeah. I'd agree with this statement. But I'd also append binary. Well, I mean, there isn't... You could technically write a bin file and then do it, but then you have to become like God himself, bro. You gotta become Terry Davis, bro, to do that. Terry Davis is God, bro. That's what the story of the Bible was. Of the James Bible that he loads into memory. Don't know why, but I'm good with assembly. Bro, I hate assembly, bro. Assembly kills me. I like D-Lang because it's super simple. But assembly is necessary. You still need assembly for a lot of the things I like OS stuff. Then you have to be like, man, now I gotta learn NASM. Nobody writes programs in binary? Yeah. But I think you could probably do it. Probably, like, transpile it somehow. Or, just-in-time compiler. Something like this. For, like, a bytecode. Or something. Brain cells are cooking. We got it to work. Here, let me explain why it's broken. So, when you call for each, and you use I, this makes a U-long I normally. However, in this case, we're pulling I from task pool parallel. Here's why. Because we're not using member. So member is never called. Now, if you do write lni, it identifies that it's a U-long and puts it out, which is why it worked when I called U-long. So now when I take this out, it's gonna work. That's where I was at. And, bro, it just proved me wrong right there. Okay, never mind. I apologize for being wrong right now. But that's just part of learning. And even though I called to write LNI, this is sad. This is sad, but here, if it doesn't work like that, well, don't worry, because I have another idea. And instead of, well, position, I guess, would be correct. But then if you call position the next time, knowing a bit of ASM is good. Yeah, I know, like, jump and linker and about that. That's about as much as I know. Jump and then putting things in registers. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm retired from assembly now. I want to go make something else. I want to get back to assembly, but, like, Fish AI is the most important thing right now. Especially if you will be writing in low-level languages like C. I feel like C is like a... I mean, is D a high-level language then? Would you say? Or like, I feel like D is kind of a low-level language. I don't know. I don't really think... I think Python's a high-level language. Like, C# is a high-level language. But like, I don't know about D. I think... Well, D is a systems language. Systems language. That's what D is. C is a systems language. Assembly would be like what I'd consider low-level. But assembly is like assembly? I don't know. That's, I guess, how I consider it, but I don't know how others say. But why does it only fucking work with write ln right here? Write ln for I is the only reason it worked. What? So what's going on? Bro. You have to write the I. The I value is the most important one. Bro, this shit's dumb. Why? Why do I have to write I? What's wrong with not writing I? So what is I doing under the hood that I don't know about? It's doing something clearly. Bro, I'm playing with this lighter and a magnet, bro. It's crazy. I was crazy once, but now I'm writing Fish AI. Hello, world. Let's go ahead and see if I can pass the other thing to it now. Now that we've got it working. Looks correct, but I can't tell because there's all that shit underneath.
Excuse me, I need to see NVIDIA. NVIDIA Jensen now. Mr. Jensen, give me your Blackwell GPUs. Please.
Data maxing. Okay, I see a giant array of arrays. Wait, didn't I say I wanted an array of arrays for, like, sentences? So that way I can... Well, no, it doesn't need sentences. It only needs a 3-dimensional array because it only needs to pull words and pull weights. Because if you have words and weights together, if the weights can be stored, like you need to have 12 weights per word because these are dynamic. So technically, I could put weights in with the words. Not sure how we're gonna make the weights yet. I don't really know. I haven't read that far in AI. Let's put in a funny one. China, China, China. Nice. That should be like 3. So from here to here. Oh, wow. Also, don't forget it takes pairs and makes U-shorts. That's how it creates unique identifiers for each character, rather than just pulling a... You could just take each character and use... But this is way more dense, though. U-short is more dense than storing it as a U-byte. So using a U-short to store 2 characters, probably better. Anyway, we have a lot of binary values in my U-short things. Thingatron Prime, bro. D&D. Hello, world. Ah, yes. Red Bull is good. Ah, I see errors. Why no worky this time with that 2-letter statements? Okay, so let's see where it went wrong. First was 6 letters. Wait, no, it was... Oh, first one's here. 2 letters. Yes is 4 technically, because it appends zeros to it. Then it gets to that one. And skips twice. So, something's changing the position. And then it exits that. Or does it start the... Wait, what? What did it just do? The positions were wrong. I've been disconnected. Oh, wowie. Wow, sauce. I don't know. It wasn't me. It was NVIDIA. I know what's going on. Something weird. It's really great. Bro, wouldn't it be just nice if I made something that worked for once? Todd Arch. Bro, it's time for anime Arch, bro. Arch-chan. We've done enough today. Hello, worlds. See what that does. Let's try this again. No, the internet connection was poor. Oh. Well, it was NVIDIA. I blame them. Alright, let's see if 2 letters breaks it. ISA world. This time it's working. It's weird. It likes to play a game where it's like, do I work this time or not work this time? And then it says, yes, no work. No worko. Uh-huh. It made a 3-letter word somehow. Was position... Oh, God. And now we've reached this. I know what's happening this time. To do with threads and not finishing at the correct time, or not getting initialized with the correct index to append to. But, yeah, no, this would be completely doable with message passing, and then it'd be slow as fuck, though. I don't like that. This is like... What's going on here is that we're putting, which values? No, it goes here. But then workos split up in 2. And also, they are correct. They are all in the same array. So that means that things are just getting broken up because... Wait, also, That is a 6-letter word, which you can see as 6-letter words there. And it selected index 3. No. Try hello world. See that that's correct. As it just appended it into the same array. This is amazing. This code is unmaintainable at this time. Bro, I don't like when I hit a hard problem like this and then have to try to solve it. But there's stuff going on that involves the... probably this, and then placing it in there. Places it at ID. However, if ID equals position, position should be passed as a duplicate. This isn't being used as ref. If this was declared with ref, then it would be a reference to it. Oh my god, bro. This was not the way to go with this. This was a terrible idea. Using a massive array of arrays. Or maybe I'm just using it wrong. But no, I think you'd store the word with the weight. That makes the most sense to me. Try something else. No, don't do that. That's not gonna fix anything. All it's gonna do is print bro. This is sad. Let's see. Well, I think I'm gonna end today's stream here and take a break for a bit, because I don't know what I'm doing with this. I think that's a good answer to this problem. Not to keep going when I don't know what I'm doing right now, when my brain's pretty much fried. We got it to where it takes it apart pretty much very fast. But even with byte packing, well, we got the byte packing figured out. That's a good thing. That's a good starting point, byte packing. Byte packing is the most important part, because if you byte pack, you can get a use short, which you're going to be using for the vector math probably. So that's what I'm going to do. Then I'll use that for the vector math, but the problem is that you have to do things not like this. This is bad. We'll rewrite for tomorrow. Actually, I'll rewrite today even. But I'll re-reference this code for using in the rewrite. I'd like to thank you all for watching. See you all next time, and goodbye.